welcome to the Business Miracles Podcast. I'm Heather Dominick, founder of BusinessMiracles.com and author of the book Different, The Highly Sensitive Leadership Revolution, found at differentthebook.com. Since 2010, I've been training highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders from around the globe to work less while making more, impact and income, by doing things differently. I'm so glad you joined me. Listen in and get ready. Get ready for a shift in the way you view yourself, your work, your life. A business miracle. Welcome to the Business Miracles Podcast. This is a Course in Business Miracles podcast, Building Your Business Part-Time, Part 1, featuring highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader, Nancy Smith. In this special 3-part episode series, you'll be hearing more about my own story of first starting my business part-time to now having been self-employed full-time for 20 years, as well as you'll also be hearing from select highly sensitive entrepreneurs who are currently creating business success while working their business on a part-time basis, all with more impact, more income, and less effort. In today's episode, I am just so excited. I'm so excited to be speaking with and connecting with Nancy Smith, who is a Business Miracles member, a highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader, and owner of Vibrant You Coaching. Nancy's story is inspiring. She made the shift from viewing her part-time job as a crutch and feeling the challenge of her focus being divided between what she felt she needed and what she loved, to embracing her part-time job as a support beam for her dreams and allowing it to become a launch pad into the space that she truly wants to be in. A support beam for her dreams. I just love that so much. So welcome, Nancy.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, yes. I am just so excited to be having this conversation. And I'm so excited to be having this conversation and just this series in general, and the inspired idea that I received to have this series really came from the awareness that so many of us as highly sensitive entrepreneurs are really meant to start our business part-time. Yet there's so much noise on the internet that just, really like hammers home, 6-figure, 7-figure success. And that if you don't have that, then you're not successful. And that can just really feel so intimidating and overwhelming and exhausting, and kind of have you feeling bad about starting your business part-time. But as I shared, that's exactly how I started. And it's how so many of us are really, truly meant to start, especially because as highly sensitives, we do really well taking step-by-step incrementalization process approach to anything that we're creating. And it's definitely something that's, so significant as starting a business. So with that said, I would love for you to just start by sharing a brief snapshot of your business, before joining the highly sensitive leadership training programs, maybe what you were struggling with, and definitely anything around any struggles you had regarding being part-time.
It feels like the journey has been so long, and in some ways it feels like I've been starting my business over and over and over again, because I had my real job. And I like the fact that you said step by step, but I didn't realize that at the time. It just felt like I was either supposed to be doing it or not. Like I was either supposed to be doing my business or being a full-time employee. And so I got tripped up on that several times, and would start my business, be working with clients, and then that, oh no, I need to focus on my full-time job. And so then I'd stray away from my coaching business and focus on full-time employment. And I can say that several years, and 1, 2, probably 3 jobs later, full-time jobs later, I finally said, no, this is my part-time business is what I want to be full-time. And then finally committed to doing that.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
But it took a while.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm so glad that you're speaking to this, and specifically speaking to that limiting belief that can really be a catch-22 of it has to be one or the other, right? And so then really hearing you describe really getting caught in a place that so many highly sensitives get caught in, of that kind of gas brake experience, right? Which is like, I got it, all my energy on the gas, go, and then no break, and then back and forth. That also really connects to the highly sensitive coping mechanism of being a combo platter. And it can really feel crazy making. And then I don't know if this was your experience, but for so many, there's just a lot of beating up on self. That's part of all of that. It's like, why can't I get this going forward? Again, I'm so glad that you spoke to that.
Yeah. And when you say that there's actually kind of shame involved, when people would ask me who knew I was doing coaching, and some of them were at that time former clients, and so, are you still coaching? Not right now. And feel the shame of that and the guilt.
Sure. Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you so much for speaking to that as well. In the leadership training program, as you know, we have so many tools that are created specifically for managing the shame that comes up as we're bumping up against these limiting beliefs, right? And bumping up against the things that we're being told by those out there who are not highly sensitive, how we should be doing things, like either all in the business or not. And how then that shame just adds to the coping cycle and adds to just an overall unhelpful spiral, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to manage that shame and find our way into a space of both and, where we can be productive and engaged in a transition plan, which is really just what makes so much sense. Again, when we go back to that step-by-step of how to be transitioning from full-time into the business full-time, if that's a choice. Because also in this series, I do want to speak to some members who have intentionally chosen to have their business part-time, which is valid as well, right? And I know for myself, again, I had a year, really 2 years, although the first year and the second year looked different, where, I was really doing both. I was working full time and I was in my business part time. And I just think, again, it's so important for there to be validity in that, and that it's okay. And that it's, again, about being able to consciously create the transition rather than getting caught in that beating up or that shame that you've spoken about. So share with us then what changed as you entered into the highly sensitive leadership training program that helped stop the gas brake syndrome and helped stop the cycle.
I think for me, it was the energy management tools, specifically the BTT and the OFTU. And I know earlier in the year we created the hatching statements. Yes. And being able to write it, get clear, OFTU, and get clear on what I really wanted. And write out the hatching statement saying, this is what I want in 2023. And using the BTT, because there were a lot of limiting beliefs, still are, that I have to work through. That I know that made me more comfortable and confident in just saying, this is what I want, and this is where I want to go. So to be able to make it clear to myself that full-time employment, working for somebody else, is not what I really want right now. I want to have the flexibility of time, to have that sense of freedom over my own, my schedule, what I do, how I do it, be able to be creative, to work with other people and help them get through what their challenges are. I want to spend more time doing that. So that's, I think, I know that is what helped me to move forward.
Amazing. So I'm just going to take a moment for listeners who are like, oh my gosh, what language are they speaking? I don't know what these letters are that they're saying. They're saying OFTU and BTTs and hatching statements. So what's just most important to emphasize that Nancy's speaking about is the power of the energy management tools that we teach in the leadership training programs. And the OFTU is a tool that's really about moving from confusion into clarity. And that's what's so beautiful, that you really went through that process intentionally and made the decision. Yes, this is what I want. And it sounds so simple, but I literally just got chills. It's actually so profound and so powerful, especially for those of us who are highly sensitive, where we can tend to allow ourselves to kind of chameleon to what somebody else is wanting or what somebody else is telling us we should want. So there's such power, and that's why that OFTU, which stands for Order Form to the Universe, when you go from the confusion to that clarity, is so powerful and foundational to then begin the rest of the work, which I heard you speak to, which the BTT is about belief transformation. So transforming those limiting beliefs, the yeah buts and the what ifs and the doubts, and I can't actually do it, even though I'm clear that I want it. It's like, once we get clear, there's actually then additional process, additional work to be done to then be able to even enter into something like the hatching statement, where as a community, we really created these strong statements to support us in the 2023 year, which is still kind of tumultuous, right? There's so much that's in turmoil for so many people, and we have to make a conscious choice to remain strong. So you have that clarity, you have that belief transformation, and you have the ongoing support of, yes, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to become as part of this year. You and I have also been engaging in a Project Focus.
Yes.
A mini program within the programs, and I've seen like some tremendous things happen for you. So I'd love for you to just speak about, some of what you're excited about, some of what you have accomplished from this clarity and belief transformation, and like where you see yourself going from here.
Where I see myself going, just growing further. It's what I've accomplished. I've actually did resign from my job, and I wouldn't necessarily advise that for everybody, but I just felt I was in the right space and time to be able to do this now. So and now I'm going to focus on creating my business, and probably reformatting it, just based on the trainings and the guidance receiving from Business Miracles. I should be nervous and I should be like worried. And I'm excited. There's, I do get into the scarcity thinking, but I can get myself out of it more quickly. So I'm excited for my future. About what I can develop in my business, because what it was before, that was Nancy before. And so what does Nancy want to give to other people now, or how do I want to serve others now? I'm in some ways still molding and developing that. And I think that's part of what in Project Focus, I think that's the next step for me in some ways, because I did what I thought was the hard thing, but developing what I want next is going to be the fun thing, I guess.
Amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh. So fantastic. So just first, yay and congratulations. And not so much congratulations on the resignation, because like you said, that might not be for everybody yet. We go back to the clarity, right? Mm-hmm. That's really the celebration as far as I see it, because you're not resigning from a place of resentment. No. You're not resigning from a place of outside pressure. You're not resigning unsupported. But I've really been with you through so much of the process as you really consciously cultivated, coming to the point to really be able to make the decision in a way that is very conscious. Again, it's very grounded. And also with the way that you chose to have the conversations around the resignation, all very above the line, all very high integrity, regal queen, like we, talk about in the Business Miracles community and the leadership training teachings. And that's really the celebration, because from that type of consciously created decision, then it makes sense to me that you feel excited, right? So when you say like, oh, I should be more nervous, it's like, well, yes. And of course, there's those little tingles, like you said, but when it is so consciously created, it's not going to be infused with that nervous system flooding, right? And overwhelm.
Yeah.
And then the other piece is the accountability, which I didn't hear you use that word specifically, but because you and I have been going through the Project Focus process together, I have a sense, and definitely feel free to say, no, that's totally not it, Heather. But I've had the sense that you have been held through the process in that sense of accountability and not just kind of out there flailing on your own. So is how you've been able to come to that decision. And now also how you see, oh, what my coaching business was before this is actually different than what I want it to be now. And so I can take that conscious creation and I can now apply it to how I want to shape my coaching business as I go forward. Is there a sense that I'm spot on there?
Yes, yes. No, absolutely. Because it's through Project Focus and then individual coaching that I get the guidance. I'll say, well, I'd like to do this. Then I get the okay, or maybe not so fast. Like right now, I'm getting maybe slow down because I feel like I need to do the shoulds and musts are coming up. And it's like, no, just slow down, slow down. And again, I guess it's another moment of getting clear of what it is that I want the next, and it doesn't have to be the year, but even the next 30 days to look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, just slow down.
Yeah.
And that can be hard.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. I just got chills again as I'm listening to you. I'm like, that is just so valuable what you're sharing, because what I really hear you speaking to is pace over pressure, right? And we're socialized, especially by the other 80% who tend to do better with pressure as motivation than those of us who are highly sensitive. So being able to pace oneself so that we can stay on sustainable process and progress, right? On the upward, kind of ascension path, versus pressure, crash, right? Yeah. So that's just what I really hear you speaking to, which makes sense of why slow down feels clear and can be really challenging, right? Because you're literally like reprogramming how the nervous system is operating. So it's amazing. And I'm so glad that you spoke to that. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what your coaching business evolves into, especially with everything that I've just seen you learn and seen you implement, and the ways that I've seen you develop for yourself. So I just have a sense that Vibrant You coaching is going to be more vibrant than ever. So thank you again so much for being willing to share your story. I think it's so important that we are talking about this, and that we're talking about this especially now in these times when, again, there's so much that can feel so volatile, that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And it definitely doesn't have to be done alone. So I'd love for you to share, if you're ready, where listeners can find out more about what you're doing and what you're creating and what Vibrant You coaching is evolving into.
Vibrant You coaching can be found on Facebook, but like I said, it's evolving. So what you see there now is will probably change, most likely. Yes. My website is actually down because that will be changing. But definitely in Facebook at Vibrant You Coaching, LinkedIn, Nancy Smith, and those are the places people can find me.
So great. So great. Like I'm literally I am just bowing to you right now. There's so many people who wouldn't even come and have this conversation with me without the perfect website. It's just truly so divine. It really is. It's like, yes, you can find Nancy Smith on LinkedIn. You can find Nancy Smith and Vibrant You Coaching on Facebook. Her website is in progress, and it's all okay. So thank you so much again for just being an inspiration, I know, to so many who are listening. I just adore mentoring and being able to be a part of your process. And I'm so grateful for this conversation today.
Thank you, Heather. I am grateful for all that I've learned and the more to come as I continue with the program and Project Focus. I'm so appreciative.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. And thank you for listening in today. And until our next Business Miracles connection, until next time. Thank you for being a part of this Business Miracles podcast episode and for beginning to dip your toe into the journey of highly sensitive leadership training. If you are ready to truly use your sensitivities as strengths in all parts of your work and life, I invite you to connect for a one-on-one chat. You will experience being deeply listened to, and together we'll get a sense of whether the highly sensitive leadership training programs are the best next step for you and your highly sensitive journey at this time. Just go to www.claritycall.com to schedule a conversation. We so look forward to connecting with you. Talk to you soon.